Good evening. The Rockford Police in the Kingston Eastern Division are seeking the public's assistance to locate the relatives of an elderly man who was found wandering on Sir Florizel Gaspole Highway yesterday. The man gave his name as Wilmot Smith. However, he has not been able to give the police an address or the names or contact information of his relatives. Anyone who can assist the police to reunite Wilmot Smith with his relatives is asked to contact the Rockford Police at 876-922-2941, the police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. 37-year-old Glenroy Gale, otherwise called Elephant, a fisherman of Hudson Street, Savannah Lamar in Westmoreland, has been arrested and charged following an incident at Great George's Street in the parish on November 14. Gale has been charged with wounding with intent and assault occasioning bodily harm. Reports from the Savannah Lamar police are that about 7 a.m., a man was purchasing items at a grocery shop when three men, Gale among them, reportedly accused the buyer of setting fire to a shop. The men allegedly assaulted the man, inflicting several blows and wounding him. They then fled the scene. The man was assisted to the hospital where he was admitted in serious condition. On Wednesday, November 23, Gale was apprehended at his home during an operation and was subsequently charged. His court date is being finalized. In other news this evening, residents living in the parish of Hanover has lashed out at the government and its decision to declare a state of public emergency. This decision, they say, has resulted in traffic pileup along the major highway. The disgruntled residents stated that since the announcement of the SOE, they have been faced with discomfort along the road, more expenses, and handicapped in reaching their destination on time. One concerned resident, who gave his name as Christopher Bowen, said he personally doesn't think the state of emergency is the solution to the problem for Hanover.
Greetings in the name of Imperial Majesty Road speaking, original name Christopher Bowen. Now, I don't think the state of emergency is a solution to the problem. In Hanover, basically, it only brings us traffic, and criminals don't use the main road like that. You won't find a criminal right now and in the state of emergency. Impossible, because they already know anything they're gonna send out, they broadcast it. So they're already fully aware. So you can't fight fire with fire. You know what I mean? So it's impossible, it's making us uncomfortable. Come on now, on a serious note. This is the only crime plan? The only solution? No, you're wrong, man. You're intelligent and smart than that, Mr. Walness, and you know what Jamaican people need. Just confronted them. And that's good. Come on, man.
Another concerned resident, Craig Oates, stated that he is very shocked that the government chose to identify the parish of Hanover as an area in need of state of public emergency.
Craig Oates, a concerned resident from Hanover. I am somewhat heartened that the government has identified Hanover as an area for the SOE. We here in Hanover support any crime fighting initiative because crime fighting is everybody's business. But the SOE should not just be a mechanism where young, poor black guys are thrown in the back of vehicles and taken to jail and processed and are there left languishing. And the SOE should also entail intelligence gathering, targeted raids, and identifying the things that breeds criminals and criminal activities. So fighting crime is not by just throwing all of these youngsters in the vehicle. And in most cases, that's what I see happening in the SOE. And a lot of these guys are very innocent, and then they're taken to jail, and then they're let out. And they come back out hardened. Let it be an all-inclusive approach, because Hanover was once the safest parish in Jamaica. And for us to be given the distinction of being amongst the worst in terms of crime is very sad. So we applaud this move, but we are also apprehensive of it. But we wish it all the best.
A host of other residents who did not wish to be on camera related that since the start of the SOE, they are forced to purchase additional gasoline to stay in traffic for hours. Also, transportation of students to and from school has become a major issue. And over in Westmoreland, Member of Parliament for Western Westmoreland, Moreland Wilson, has called on the opposition People's National Party to support the government in its decision to declare a state of public emergency.
So I'd just like to add as my last bit that, I'm calling on the opposition, in particular, to unite with us against the fight against crime. We have seen in the recent past, they voted against the state of public emergency in Westmoreland. This is something that we wouldn't want to see happening again. Just send the right signal to the nation. Let them know that you are not in support of these hoodlums and these criminals. Right? Support the government's initiative. It will work in the best interest of us all.
Mr. Wilson, who was speaking to reporters following the stabbing death of a man in the Moreland Hill community early this week, said crime, especially murder, is causing terror among the general public, and he believes a state of public emergency is the key. He said the PNP must now send the right signal to the nation and let them know that they are not in support of these hoodlums and criminals. Mr. Wilson also stated that this initiative will work in the best interest of the citizens of Jamaica. The parish of Westmoreland is among the 3 western parishes in which the government declared a state of public emergency last Tuesday. A zone of special operations was also declared in sections of the parish early this year, following an increase in crime, especially murders. Since the start of the year, a total of 127 murders have been recorded in the parish of Westmoreland, with the most recent victim, 37-year-old Kish Evans, being stabbed to death during an altercation with another family member. Reports are that Evans, who resides in Moreland Hill community with his girlfriend and other family members, got in an altercation with his uncle, who attacked him with a knife, which he used to stab him multiple times. He was pronounced dead at the Savannah Lamar Hospital. Meanwhile, Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ, has called for senators to reject the request for an extension of the state of public emergency, arguing that the measures is unconstitutional. The government is seeking to have the SOEs it declared for 7 parishes on November 15 extended until January 14, 2023. The government used its majority in the House of Representatives on Tuesday to approve the motion, but needs the support of 1 opposition senator to achieve the 2/3 requirement in the upper chamber. The SOEs are set to expire on November 28 if the motion doesn't receive the 2/3 support from both houses. However, in a release urging senators to reject the extension, the JFJ said, quote, "Parliamentarians have a duty to uphold and safeguard the Constitution, and that political expediency is no justification for constitutional breaches," end quote. The JFJ said that the reasons given by the government simply do not meet constitutional threshold for a state of emergency to be declared. Government must be held accountable to implement lawful and constitutional means of addressing crime. JFJ said we must reject the deflection of using SOEs in lieu of the government's failure to provide the people of Jamaica with a comprehensive strategy to fight crime. The JFJ added that we must reject the approach that government must break the law to uphold it. Yesterday, a number of private sector groups urged the opposition to support the extension of the SOEs, arguing that there has been a significant decline in murders nationally since the declaration of the SOEs on November 15. The opposition has repeatedly asserted that the SOEs used by the government is unconstitutional and has argued that the security forces have other available crime-fighting tools to tame the crime monster. And that's our news package for tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV News. I'm Nicole Hales. Pleasant viewing.